It's not every day you hear about weapons getting banned in warfare. Sure, there was that time during World War I when Germany tried to outlaw trench shotguns, but way before that, over 700 years earlier, Pope Innocent II did something even more unexpected. He banned the use of crossbows, which leads to the big question, why? Why crossbows specifically? And why did it take the Pope to outlaw them? To understand that, we need to step back into the 12th century, a time when the Christian world was anything but peaceful. The Crusades were sometimes used as a way to temporarily unite rival kingdoms, but as soon as those ended, it was right back to fighting each other. The papacy wasn't thrilled about that. In particular, the Pope really hated the idea of Christians killing each other with ranged weapons, especially crossbows. So, a big church council was called, the Second Lateran Council. Now, to be clear, this meeting wasn't just about crossbows. That was just one small item on a much larger agenda. There's a popular theory out there that the church banned crossbows because they threatened the medieval social structure. That is, they gave poorly trained peasants the power to take down armored knights. But that's actually not true. Nobody at the time was really worried about that. In fact, a lot of nobles and kings were more than happy to arm their own soldiers with crossbows. To them, it meant a better shot at taking out their enemies, especially rival lords. So why the ban? Well, the Pope's main concern was that crossbows made it far too easy for Christians to slaughter one another. Not that swinging a sword or an axe was any more moral, but the thinking was that ranged weapons led to way more casualties, and that wasn't good for Christendom. That said, using crossbows against pagans or Muslims during the Crusades? Totally fine. No issue there. As for the punishment for breaking the ban, you were looking at excommunication. But here's the catch. It wasn't totally clear whether that applied to the person pulling the trigger or to the noble who hired them. So, did anyone actually follow this rule? Short answer, no. Even though the Pope had religious authority over Catholic rulers, that didn't mean they always listened. In fact, during the Middle Ages, the Church issued a lot of bans that were completely ignored. Jousting? The Pope called it a senseless waste of life. Still happened. Warfare on weekends? Technically not allowed. Still happened. Kings were supposed to acknowledge that the Pope outranked them? Yeah, most didn't. And when it came to crossbows, no Christian ruler in their right mind was going to give up one of the most effective weapons of the time, especially not just because the Pope said so. So in the end, the crossbow ban was basically just the church yelling into the wind. Thanks for watching.